just can't, I can't quite, there. I'm comfortable now. Hello, you fucks. Welcome to John Solo's Beard Brigade. I'm John Solo. You are not, and hey, how you doing? You bouncy? Trey said she's bouncy. Yeah, I like bouncy. I like my TNA's bouncy. Anyways, hello. I am very comfortable up in my control room. It's not that cold. I'm grateful for what I have. I turned the heat off for these shows because the heat in the background makes this loud noise, and there's this whole degree of comfort versus perfection, right? That we're actually going to talk about that a bit today. It's funny, I let into it like that, but I can't take having that in the background when I'm doing a show because it comes through the microphone, and I'm a fucking audio engineer, and it drives me nuts. So there it is. So there's no heat on while I record this show. And to be honest with you, this control room's insulation sucks. I did it myself, so I know it sucks. So it gets pretty cold pretty quick. Behind the camera here, you're the camera, okay? Behind the camera, there is a huge window. And this window isn't even properly sealed, let alone like, you know, it's not fucking warm in here normally. You got to really have heat on, and it's like 7 degrees outside. I don't know what that, let's see what it is. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it's 24, but we have European friends. Hey, Google, what is 24 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius?
24 degrees Fahrenheit is minus 4.444 degrees Celsius.
There you go. It's minus 4.
Side note, you can always ask me to play your favorite live radio station too. Just say play NPR, for example.
What kind of fucking... Dude, Voldemort is trying to talk me into listening to NPR. What kind of subliminal suggestion shit is that? My God. Oh, goodness. What kind of brainwashing programming shit? All right. Anyways, I'm going to get into this. I just can't stop fucking cracking up at that. I mean, I put it there. I installed it. So, hey, I guess I asked for it. We're supposed to get some snow today, and I'm super excited about this. And for a number of reasons. One, I enjoy the cold, and I enjoy the snow immensely. But one of the big reasons is I got Doc back, baby. I got Doc's drive shaft finally fixed. Me and Jody have not been able... Is it me and Jody or Jody and I? I think it's Jody and I. That sounds more smart. That sounds smartest. Jody and I have not been able to go off-roading since August on our last huge off-roading extravaganza where I broke Doc's drive shaft. So we've only had a couple little snow spatterings here in Ohio this year so far where I am in central Ohio. Last one was like maybe 3 inches, 4 inches, something like that, but it was icy too. And I had to drive Doc a couple mornings in a row to my, Jody just said Voldemort in the living room answered. It's taking control over our lives. But we haven't been able to go off-roading now since August when we went and I broke Doc's drive shaft. So I had to drive to my meetings over in Granville a couple of times. The last time it snowed and it was icy, and it kind of sucked without the four-wheel drive. And let's face it, Jody and I's vacation plans are to go every month or so off-roading, and I would just haven't been able to because Doc's been broken. So I got him back, and I'm waiting. Bring on the snow. It's like Lissa says, bring on the sex. Just bring on the snow. And I actually have, hang on here, I actually have a graphic for this. Look at that. There's the snow. So last night I'm working in Discord, and little Lissa Gramling starts showing me pictures of her snow. And she's like, it's snowing, and I can't stop looking. And she shows me, and it's what I expected. It's just like, it's just spitting a little bit. There's not much on. But then she said the funniest shit. She goes, it's sticking to me, which cracks me up. But you don't think about it. People that have lived in the snow their whole life, you don't think about the fascination of somebody seeing snow for literally the first time. I mean, she just like came out of her cave and discovered snow. It's amazing to me. But then I saw pictures of it this morning from Lissa, and Lissa actually got some snow. Like, it's a ground covering. It's beautiful. And she didn't sleep all night because she just stayed up watching the snow. And Lissa, as much as I make fun of you, honey, I wish I could have that experience of seeing it through your eyes for the first time. It's got to be fantastic. Um, it's like being in Colombia in the 70s. There's snow all over. It's amazing. I wish I could see it through your eyes. I think it's pretty fantastic. Um, and that leads me to today. I still have some work hanging over from one of our projects from this week. I'm going to be working a little bit today, but at some point today, I think me and Jody are going to cut out and go over to the cabin and take the little Jeep trail back there, snow or not. I want to try out this thing. We might do that, but I'm going to be working in Discord a little bit today on some editing, just a little bit. Then I'm going to be finishing up the mastering and stuff to get Nora's project out. So that's my plan for today. And Sundays is supposed to be the day off, and I'm kind of hoping to take most of it off. I'm hoping Jody and I can sit on the couch later on this evening and drink hot cocoa or some sugary confection like that and watch something stupid on TV. That's our plan. And that leads me to, I started alluding to this a little bit earlier, but the people that hang out with me every day know that I changed up my schedule a few months ago. And it's because of a very specific thing. And I've talked to my lovely wife about this, and a few people that are very close to me, but maybe this will help somebody, so I decided I would share it. I've been sober 5.5 years. No, I'm not saying that please, by the way, don't put like congratulations and don't fucking do that. Please, because I don't deserve it. I'm just doing what normal people do. So literally 5.5 years ago, I decided to live up to the standards of a normal person. So, hey, you go me. No. But to get to that 5.5 years, I had relapsed several times. I started going to 12-step program rooms about 12 years ago. So I've been working this for 12 years and I got 5.5 years. That's what it took me. I know what relapse looks like, is what I'm trying to say. And it scares the shit out of me. I have a few really large fears in my life. And one of them is relapsing, because to come back this time was one of the most difficult things I've done in my life. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. I honestly thought this one was going to kill me. I've said to a number of people that are very close to me over the years that I feel like I was born 5.5 years ago. A lot of things are real fuzzy prior to that. And some things I just simply don't remember, and it's to the detriment of my loved ones. It's disturbing to them, and I don't blame them one bit. That being said, I think it was maybe over the summertime, somewhere in there, I really started, people that are close to me that have been around me know this, I started to really get down. And I saw this coming. Here's my pattern. And the reason I'm talking about this is maybe this will help somebody else out there. And I have been thinking about this a lot recently, and also because of the book we just finished. My pattern goes like this. I get sober, and life starts to get better immediately. Alcohol and drugs aren't really my issue, but they become an issue because that's how I solve my problems. I want to escape and run away from things. I have two reactions to life. It's either run or fight. It's fight or flight syndrome. That's how most of us work. My escape involves drugs and alcohol. So when life starts to get better, as I get the drugs and alcohol out of my life, suddenly my life starts to become manageable again. It's not so unmanageable now. Life's going pretty good. After a few months of sobriety, I start to make money again, and the people around me start to forgive me for the shit that I did the last time. And pretty soon, I stop doing all of the things that I'm supposed to do to stay sober. And let me describe this in detail for people that aren't familiar. To stay sober, what I have to do every day is I have to wake up. I have to give my will and my life over to something other than me. Because when I'm in charge of my life, it's a shit show. It's horrid. So I have to agree that I'm going to live my life for a higher purpose. And I do that through prayer. I'm not a religious man. And I only say that to tell you that if you're like, yay, I pray, I probably don't do it the same way. But I pray and I ask whatever it is out there to help me through another day and to help me help somebody else and to get me out of my fucking own head for a minute. That's what I ask for. And then I then do some meditation and typically a little bit of yoga if I'm doing it right. Then I get my ass to a meeting. The This is a perfect day, by the way. Then I come home and I do my work. And at the end of the day, when I lay my head down again, I thank whatever that is for getting me through another day sober. As soon as I start to get my life back in order and shit starts to get good, my pattern goes like this. I will start to skip a couple of those things that I'm supposed to do for the day. Either I won't pray, or life gets too busy and I won't hit my meeting, or I'll start to skip meditation, or I'll start to skip the physical aspect of it with yoga and working out. That's where I'll start to skip a few of those things because life gets too busy, and I can't quite keep up on it. If I start stacking up those days where I don't do those things consistently in a row, I get to the point where my spiritual condition is not very good. I start to think more about myself and my wants and needs and fears than everybody else. And then I have this moment. It's the two most dangerous words to an alcoholic and an addict. Fuck it. When that fuck it moment happens, and I take that first drug, whether it be a drink or any sort of mind-altering substance that's going to fuck me up for a minute, it's off to the races. And I can't tell you when I'm going to stop. That becomes the most important thing in my life, is that escape. Because just for a second, I'm like, oh, I don't have to worry about shit. I don't have to do the right thing. Oh my God, this feels phenomenal. The last time it took me 3 years to get back to quitting again. I don't know, I got another one in me. I really don't. Back over the summer, I started getting into that. I'm skipping a few things. I'm skipping some meetings. I'm skipping some prayer, that sort of deal. And it started to come close, really close. I didn't, by the way, let's skip to the end. I didn't use. I'm still sober. But I started to see the pattern repeat itself over again. Life was getting too big of I was getting too big of a deal. I was becoming too big of a deal in my own head. So I changed everything. I didn't want to go through it again. So I changed my meetings first. I switched over to morning meetings. I decided this has to be my number one priority. It just has to be. They've told me 1,000 times it has to be. Well, let's make it has to be. So I switched over and I decided this would be the first fucking thing I do every day. I wake up, I'll do my prayer, my meditation, my yoga, then I'll get out the fucking door and I'll do my meeting first thing. I used to hit meetings in the evenings, by the way. And that really helped a lot. I found another old timer. That's a guy that's got a bunch of years in the program that I really respected. And I decided to work through the steps again with him. He never really stopped working the steps, but this guy has taken me through the literature and showing me all over again. And it's been wonderful. Now, this brings me to a point, and I don't know if you guys live like this or not, but it's really important to me. I live in struggle. I have to. Every time I allow myself to seek comfort for a long period of time, I'm not talking about like tonight when Jody and I sit on the couch. That's fine. That's awesome. I've done what I need to do through the course of the day. But if I allow myself to seek comfort on a regular basis instead of struggle on a regular basis, if I allow myself to be content, if I allow myself to say, this is good enough, right here's where I should be, and I'm going to fight for just staying here, not getting better. If I allow myself to do that for a second, I end up sliding. There is no staying right here. It's always I'm getting better or I'm getting worse. And one of the things I've learned in sobriety is my job is to be a better me than I was the day before. I'm not a very good person. I'm really not. I'm not trying to be humble here because trust me, I'm not very humble. But I'm getting better. I'm getting better every day. I'm getting better when I do the things that I'm supposed to do. It works for me. Now, the reason this has come up to me, and I'm not trying to preach to y'all. Most of y'all I've spoken to on a personal basis, and most of y'all are way fucking better people than I am. You like actually care about other people and shit. It's amazing. But the reason I bring this up is because in this last book we were working on, and I'm going to talk about that book in a minute. I realized that I'm not the only one that thinks like this, and I'm not the only one that struggles with this pattern. And it's not necessarily alcoholism and addiction at all. I don't think it's unique to alcoholics and addicts. At one time I did. I thought, but it's kind of on a spectrum, you know? Everybody thinks like this to a degree. But I think, for me, that when I gravitate towards that comfort, which it's kind of in our DNA. It's kind of how we're programmed. We're hunters gatherers. We are programmed to seek out that comfort, and it's because when we were hunters-gatherers, when we didn't have nice roofs over our heads with rooms that are partially heated most of the time. When we didn't have that, we had to seek it out because we got so little of it. Well, now it's readily available to us all the time. If we seek out that comfort all the time, in my experience, you never get to any sort of potential. The people that I've talked to in this group are incredibly talented, wonderful, loving, intelligent people. I look up to you. I really do. And I bring this little tidbit that I learned from this book that we worked on this week to the forefront, because maybe it'll help somebody later on today. Maybe you'll decide, you know what, instead of seeking that comfort, I will do something a little bit out of my comfort zone. For me, if I don't do that on a daily basis, shit gets worse. And if I gravitate towards that struggle on a daily basis, shit gets better. It's amazing to me. Anyways, that's what I learned from this book this week. And thank you, Nora Phoenix. I love you to death. On a complete opposite note, I slept a shit ton last night. Yesterday in general, the exact opposite of what I just said, but occasionally this happens. I worked hard all week long, and I think it was Friday night going into Saturday. Jody and I went to bed at like 8 or 8:30, and didn't get up until like 10 the next day, or at least I didn't. She got up before me because she's a better person than me. I slept like 12 hours at least, maybe a little bit more. Then after all my stuff I did yesterday, I went yesterday and played games with my brothers, and it was awesome. I came back and worked a bit on editing. I worked for like 6 hours, 7 hours, and then I just couldn't focus anymore. I wasn't tired, but I couldn't focus. I decided I'd lay down and take a nap at like 3 a.m. You know how that shit works. So I got up at 8 a.m. after my 5-hour nap. That's the way that worked. But I think that this has something to do with the quitting vaping and smoking thing, because for a little while there, I wasn't able to get any sort of good sleep. And now I'm able to sleep a lot. And I'm taking that in stride. I can't do it all the time, but occasionally sleeping for 12 hours, I don't know. Maybe I'm a bear. Does anybody else think I'm a bear? Lizzie, thank you for saying that. I really do appreciate it. A 24-hour reprieve based upon my spiritual condition, Lizzie. That's the way we put it. Yeah, I'm a bear, I think. This week coming up, we have... No, don't get confused. That isn't Michael Dean. We're not having Michael Dean on. We're having AJ Llewellyn on the Talk to the Beard show tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to this. I met AJ at a GRL convention in 2019, and she was a sweetheart. But then I learned that she's really good friends with Patty Logan, which leads me to believe that maybe I had the wrong impression of her. I'm really looking forward to this. That's tomorrow at 5 p.m. JST, or Eastern Standard Time, if you want to be all fucking correct about it and shit. This week we worked on, and I've talked about this book a lot. I actually wrote my little piece here to talk about it, and I'm going to read the piece, so it's going to be obvious that I'm reading the piece. But we just finished Clean Start at 47, the 47 Duology, Book 1 by Nora Phoenix, and I'm actually finishing it today. We've already recorded it and all that good stuff, but I'm finishing up the post work on it. It should be out on Audible next week. I'm going to read this, though, because it's worth it, I think. This one was a surprise to me. An older submissive falls in love with a younger daddy. That part wasn't the surprise. It's Nora. The surprise was that the author really delved into viewing the gay lifestyle, not just from being gay, but from a recovering religious perspective. This part blew me away with this book, and the author did a fantastic job on it. I am from a religious background, and, pardon me, there's a really super loud car out there. See, there's no insulation. My childhood was fucking fantastic. I ain't complaining about that. It was awesome. But there was a lot of, I came from an extreme religious background, and some of it was very confusing to me. And that had its own effects on me. And whether it be good or bad, it certainly affected my viewpoint on the world. The author's perspective on this, and after reading this, I get the feeling that unless Nora is one of the best researchers in the world, I think that she must have lived through something like this herself, was that from that religious background, they trained this character in the book, and I'm assuming the author as well in her life, the character to have an extreme prejudice toward the LGBTQ community. gays, if you were not allowed to be gay. And in fact, if you were gay, it was a choice. It wasn't something that you were born with. It wasn't, I'm born being into the opposite sex or into the same sex at all. And if you were gay, you had to fight that. You had to pray the gay away. This was not a new viewpoint. We've heard this before, but the author's perspective on it was the best that I've got the chance to perform in my career so far. It was absolutely amazing. Now, Nora goes into a lot more with this. Kinsey had an extreme Christian religious upbringing and as a result denied himself his sexual nature for over 40 years. I think the author did an incredibly good job of portraying this unique, or maybe not so unique, I'm finding it much more common than I thought, view of the LGBTQ community. I personally related to this story on a number of levels. A 47-year-old that had an extreme religious upbringing is in recovery from active addiction and has just come out as gay. I mean, I'm not 47, but... So anyways, we are currently working on this week Sean's Salvation, Maine Men Book 5 by K.C. Wells. And I'm damn sure not fucking up any Maine accents in this one because I didn't do them. And it's a joy to work with Casey anytime. I love her to death. And rumor has it she looks fantastic in leather. Coming up next after Casey's book, we have Got Me Hoping Vet Shop Boys Book 1. And this is by Casey Cox, the name that's fun to put in your mouth. Got Me Hoping is book 1 in the Vet Shop book series that can be read as a standalone. Expect plenty of humor, found family, an adorable golden retriever, a foul-mouthed parrot, a whole new way of getting clean, as well as very, very dirty, and a heartwarming happily ever after. Or as we like to say in the industry, an HEA. Look at that. Looking forward to this. And in the wings. That's right, in the wings. We have Hunter's Creek Book 1 by our other favorite Brit, Victoria Sue, coming up. Mingo McLeod, books 1, 2, and 4 by A.J. Llewellyn, who's also on the show tomorrow. And finally, Boy Issues, Command and Care, book 1 by Mortician Knight. That's all coming up over the course of the next couple weeks. Oh, wow. Lada, thank you so much. And thank you, Cheryl. I really do appreciate it. I love you guys. That's what we got coming up. For now, I'm going to go make some breakfast. And I'm not sure if I'm going to go jeeping first or if I'm going to work first. I think I should work first and then I'll go jeeping. That's my plan. But I love you guys. Have fun. I will see you probably in a bit in Discord after some breakfast. If anybody wants to hang out with me while I finish editing this book. And then, of course, Monday we'll be working in Discord starting at around noonish or 1ish or somewhere in there on Casey's book. And then 5 p.m. tomorrow as well for A.J. Llewellyn. Have fun. I will talk to you soon. Peace out. I'm going to wave at the camera.